Hey everyone, how's it going? Good to see you. I hope y'all are having a fantastic day. So this is the second part of my long-winded discussion on 21st Century Fox being acquired by Disney. In the first part of the video, I was discussing the merger as a whole and why, unlike a lot of people, I really didn't have too many issues with it. But this one in particular, I want to tackle one of the biggest parts of the acquisition. It's what we as comic book fans are so excited about. X-Men, Fantastic Four, Deadpool, they are coming home. The first family is back where they belong. Wolverine will finally get to wear his costume. And yes, Deadpool and all his crazy shenanigans will be able to see them commingle with the rest of the Marvel family. As a comic book fan, I need y'all to understand how much this means to me. Like, a lot of people say, oh yeah, they're just gonna be in the movies, whatever, but no, y'all don't understand. As a kid growing up watching the animated series and watching the crossover events that they would have with those characters, it would always bring such joy in my heart because these characters, reading them as a kid, they meant so much to me. And I think the best way that they're able to thrive is when they are together, when you can have one character in one universe doing their own thing and then suddenly see them pop up and have fun with the adventures of the other characters. It just really makes it feel like it is so interconnected and not just, well, we're going to do things over here, we're going to do things over there, and then maybe for an event we'll cross over. The fact that they're able to cross over so organically in the comics is one of the main reasons why I loved reading Marvel Comics. Well, back in the day, not so much now because of what they've been doing. Yeah. But yeah, as it stands, man, X-Men, Deadpool, Fantastic Four, coming back to the MCU, there's a lot to discuss and we're actually learning more and more about it as the hours go on. First things first, I want to address a major complaint that a lot of people have had, the possibility of Disney acquiring Fox. A lot of people were scared that we're not going to get movies like Logan or Deadpool anymore. Yeah, Bob Iger just came out and confirmed that Deadpool will be rated R going forward. They're not changing anything about him. And this has prompted them to look into potentially starting a R-rated brand of MCU movies. So that right there, maybe this acquisition was a good thing because before, they were always open to the idea, but they felt no need to. But now that Deadpool is a success, they own him and they're branding him under the MCU. Yeah, that's pretty cool. And even if he doesn't really cross over too much with the main Marvel characters, I think this definitely opens the door up to some of the other characters in Marvel's repertoire, such as Blade or Moonlight. Maybe they can get their own movies. Maybe we can see the Defenders show up in the MCU this way, because those are the more adult-oriented Marvel shows. And if you create a separate line like Marvel Knights or whatever, maybe this is what we needed. Maybe this is the spark that lit the fires of the revolution. I don't know, but on that front, I'm very happy that Deadpool, a character in a movie that I enjoyed, I'm very glad that going forward they're not going to change anything about him. So that's good. Good on you, Disney. Because like I mentioned in my last video, the mouse gets what the mouse wants. And if the mouse wants money, then the mouse is not going to change things. So yeah, Deadpool is here to stay. But yeah, let's talk about the rest of it. Let's talk about the X-Men and the Fantastic Four. The first family, first and foremost, man. Just the fact that they've gotten them away from Fox means more to me than X-Men or Deadpool. Not to say I dislike those characters, but the Fantastic Four has not been treated good on film at all. Like, even in situations where it was somewhat passable, like the first, well, technically the second movie, because, you know, the original first movie back in the day, even in that situation where it's just like, yeah, this is terrible, but it's not the worst thing I've seen. I never wanted to do that. I never wanted to temper my expectations for these amazing characters. But as it stands, you guys, while it's great that these characters are back, I don't think we need to be rushing into seeing them on screen as soon as possible. And I know that's going to tick some people off because they want to see these crossovers happen now. But what you guys got to understand is Marvel just acquired these characters. Literally. They need time to work them into the Marvel Cinematic Universe. So I don't think we're going to be seeing them in Avengers Infinity War Part 2. I don't think we're even going to be seeing them for the next couple of Marvel movies. Why? Because they take a lot of time to plan these movies. Like, look at how early into production they were into films like Black Panther when they first revealed it in 2014. You know, these movies usually take 3 to 4 years before they even get them out there. They're spending so much time figuring out how it's going to fit into the universe and how it's going to be organic. And I don't think we need to be rushing, like, characters that can sustain a universe themselves, like the X-Men. We don't need to be rushing them so soon. My prediction is that for the next phase, phase 4, if they're even going to call it that, that's when we're going to start seeing some of the characters be introduced. It's going to be interesting to see how they introduce the X-Men, considering, unlike the Fantastic Four, which I think is the easiest of the group to introduce, considering their origin, the X-Men are a completely different beast. You know, you've got so many different characters, their own little ecosystem, and the whole mutation side of things, and the genes that kick in with their powers. How are you going to explain that in the MCU? That's why I think they need to wait a bit so they can introduce them more fleshed out, as opposed to, yeah, well, they were in hiding this whole time and they did nothing to help with the Battle of New York and then Ultron. You see, it wouldn't make sense for them to throw them in there. I think maybe with the Infinity Gauntlet in Avengers Infinity War Part 2, it might do something, maybe. But again, that's up to Kevin Feige and them to create a coherent vision on what they want to do with the characters. But out of all of them, like I said, I think there's a better chance of the Fantastic Four. Maybe in the second Spider-Man movie, we might see a cameo by Reed Richards. You know, just something small, something minor, nothing crazy. I think that's a good way to introduce the fact that, hey, we have these characters again. Deadpool, on the other hand, I don't know how they'd introduce Deadpool, just because he's just so quirky and zany and out there that maybe in short bursts he'll do like cameos here and there, not necessarily a main focal point of a crossover. But as it stands, you guys, I for one am excited about this, but I think we need to take our time as to not blow our load and create another Fox Marvel situation where they're just trying to rush all of these insane character arcs, like Days of Future Past, and then they're doing the Phoenix Saga again. And that's another thing why I think we need a reboot, because if they're going to ruin the Phoenix Saga again, like it's just they didn't deserve these characters at all. They just didn't. So let them be with people who have more creativity attached to them. Let them stay in capable hands, as opposed to all the folks who have been messing up the characters. But yeah, ladies and gentlemen, I'm happy for the future. As a comic book fan, I am freaking ecstatic. And we'll just have to see where this goes in the next 3 to 4 years. It's going to be really interesting. It's a great time to be a comic book fan, especially if you're a Marvel fan, especially if you are a fan of the movies, not so much the comics, considering. But yeah, for now, my name is NGS, signing out. Like always, I will catch you guys later. Peace.